What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time for new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Varka's character teaser, Where the Knight's Heart Leads. I am very curious to see what we have in store here. As I have made clear in all of the stuff I've done related to Varka, I am so incredibly excited for him. I know that realistically, this teaser will probably give us maybe a little lore, but mainly just character about him, and I am once again just very excited to see what we have here, to see if we get anything new about him as a character lore-wise or just characterization-wise. So I'm not going to delay at all. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and consider becoming a channel member if you want to support me just that little bit extra. And let's get into this.
Finish a story from last
time. Telling Aino a story of Mondstadt?
It's not just a story. These are the true adventures of Varka the Expeditioner.
Yeah. Enough up. Prepare for database update.
Gotta be able to tell those stories again later. That's cute.
Then. Last we left off, I split from the main group to see to some business in that land.
Ah. We've heard a little of this before.
On fighting the abyss? All right.
Not surprising.
Never turns away a friend.
Cool.
That said, is intel the only thing you're here to trade?
No, he wants to test his
I've
skills.
heard Mondstadt is famous for something else.
Of course. Which is
drinking
why
competition?
I brought this.
Or just a good night drinking.
That land ain't for me. Sure is something else.
Right back at you.
I love the characters just over their heads. That's great.
Data updated for
Oh my
Pyro
God.
Archon, Mawika. Alcohol tolerances, God tier.
Yeah, he drank
If it was a
to
deserted
collapse
contest,
with Mavika.
pick one for sure. What happened next? Come on, keep going, keep going.
So we're seeing the tales of
The
what
more
he
you
was
can
up
update
to.
Nef's database, the better.
What's the next story to tell?
Another story, huh?
Ooh. Ooh. The
Regarding the
slight
abyssal calamity in the north. That's
Capitano.
all I am able to say.
Capitano.
That's more than enough.
Yo. We're getting
Not
to see all
quite
the
what
big
you were
people,
expecting.
all the heavy hitters.
Knight of Boreas.
I don't put much weight in expectations. Our enemy is ever changing after all.
Yep.
It pays to be prepared.
Yeah. Gotta be ready on your toes for the
I will not
abyss.
stop a knight from pursuing his own path. But a word of warning.
Oh.
This is a path that cannot be retraced.
Oh.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
This is a path unique to him. This is a very intriguing teaser, honestly. It doesn't actually tell us that much more than the anecdotes we've already heard of his time during the expedition. We knew he crossed paths with Capitano, we knew he crossed paths with Mawika, and that they drank together, but to see that is super hype and exciting. I will take any opportunity to see Capitano again, and it also is just fun to see how he interacts with people like Mawika. Similarly, it's very fun to see him more directly and casually interact with Aino and Anefa, seeing as they were implied to have a little bit of a relationship when we first came to Nodcry, with Aino calling him Uncle Varka, that kind of thing. It was clear that they got along pretty well, and to see a little bit of that kind of interaction is nice. And I find it incredibly cute how all of this is framed, being that Aino just wants Varka to tell her more stories, and the add detail of this also is to update Anefa's databanks is very cute. I take that as making sure that Anefa can retell these stories to Aino in the future, which is very adorable. I really like that. And it works as a good framing device for all of this. But as this story begins, we have this very nice transition into the moment where he speaks to Mawika, asking about the abyss, and then end up drinking together. But we get a key detail here that does sort of emphasize a little bit of the timeline of things, being that first off, this is him picking up from where he last left off in his story of this grand expedition, but also him saying that he split off from the main group to go talk to Moeka very much places this as part of the expedition when they cross through Natlan, which I think is valuable to just acknowledge, because unless I'm grossly misunderstanding something, I have been seeing some people thinking that Varka's time in Natlan speaking to Moeka like this was before starting the expedition, which I didn't think was the case. I was pretty sure that it was during the expedition he went to Natlan, spoke with Moeka, then continued on to Nod Cry. So I just point that out because I've been seeing some contradicting thoughts on what people were thinking the order of events were. Want to just clarify that. Or, of course, if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But then in the story we get the context of why he went to go and see Moeka, mainly being to trade expertise on fighting the Abyss. As we learned in his animated short, he sought to go to Nod Cry to stop the Wild Hunt, to fight the Abyss. And so then this answers our question, why did he go to Natlan first? He was seeking to ask the ruler of the land most experienced with fighting the Abyss for tips. Natlan is known as the Nation of War due to its war against the Abyss, and so it makes sense that in seeking to battle said Abyss, even if it is a different version of it in the form of the Wild Hunt, it seems Varka believed that Moeka would have tips for him, advice to give him, expertise that he could learn from. And of course, to complete this trade, Varka brought some Mondstadt wine. And from here, we get to see this really goofy, fun scene of Varka trying some Natlan Amphamede while Moeka has the dandelion wine from Mondstadt. And we have swirling around their head to signify their drunkenness the little icons of various characters from their corresponding nations, notable drinkers at that. In the case of Varka being Venti, Kaya, and Rosaria, and in the case of Moeka, though only one of these is truly a very well noted drinker, I would say, we have, of course, Sitlali, Zylonin, and Chaska. And it's here that we learn that Varka can go toe-to-toe in drinking with none other than the Pyro Archon, which I honestly don't know if that is saying something impressive about Varka or of Moeka. Either way, it's a lot of fun seeing them just slump over, and it cut to these two little toy robots in Aino's workshop falling over. At least in the case of Anefa and her databanks, she takes it as an impressive statement for Moeka, implying Varka is already god tier in alcohol tolerance, which is not surprising, honestly. But then, of course, Aino just continues to ask for more stories, and it's here that we actually get to the part I'm most interested in within this teaser. We transition into this next story with Varka looking at the reflection of his blade, an interesting expression on his face, very sort of thoughtful, as we transition both in sound and visual into a snowy landscape. Whether it is northern Nod Cry or Snezhnaya itself, or just some other snowy plain. That's very much the vibe it gives, is Snezhnaya or northern Nod Cry. But at the same time, entering the scene, having Capitano appear, which is so incredibly hype, so incredibly exciting. I hope we see more of him someday. I know he's sort of dead, but I can dream. He mentioned something about an abyssal calamity in the north, either implying that they are south of Nod Cry, and are talking about the Wild Hunt, or there is a different abyssal calamity happening north from wherever they are, presumably in Snezhnaya. But regardless, whichever one it is, we are not made privy to the information related to it, as we are picking up at the end of this conversation between Capitano and Varka. Supposedly whatever Varka was told is all Capitano is able to say, whether that is because he has vowed to not say more, either due to his role as a Fatui Harbinger or some other reason, or he simply just doesn't know anymore. It is clear that either there is a limit on what Capitano is able to tell Varka, or he just does not know more than what he's already told. But according to Varka, whatever he was told is more than enough. We're seeing two examples here of Varka gaining intel and expertise to fight the Abyss from various disparate players. In fact, in the case of this, rather humorously, two major figures in the Natlan story that butt heads for a brief bit. He's not getting his intel and his expertise from any one source. But then there's another additional element of intrigue added to whatever Capitano told Varka, as Capitano asks, not quite what you were expecting. So there's something unexpected about what he learned, something potentially surprising. But Varka's response is quite simple. I don't put much weight in expectations. He didn't go into this conversation with expectations of what he would learn. And that is because our enemy, the Abyss, is ever changing. You cannot ever rest on your laurels, believe you know what to expect. You always need to be learning, adapting, improving your skills. But then, to continue layering intrigue to this, we have Capitano saying, "I will not stop a knight from choosing his path, but a word of warning, this is a path that cannot be retraced. The path you have chosen, Varka, is one that cannot be repeated. You have one chance at this, one opportunity at this. Whatever it is you do will be how things go. No takebacks, no repetitions." But Varka's only response, closing us out of the teaser, is, "I wouldn't have it any other way." He is on a unique journey, one that cannot be repeated. We saw in his animated short what it would look like if he played the protagonist of our story, and that version of the story was a dream of his. But was it truly uniquely his? That's a question. And though I don't think it would be the full reason, I much more think the aspect of altruistically going to help other nations and other people is a big part of his choice to do the expedition. It could also be that he wanted a journey, an adventure, a story that truly was his own. That's a possibility. But that's where the teaser ends. It's very quick, very straightforward, but I really like it a lot just from the little glimpses of these interactions we get. And this continued intrigue towards what is the purpose of this expedition? Why did he set out on it? What does he expect to find? What end goal is he chasing after? And it just continues to get me more and more excited for his story quest, and inevitably also just very excited for his demo in a few days. I am very curious now to see if his demo will similarly give this additional layer of intrigue towards this question that has been surrounding his promotional material in general, or if it'll just be hype and cool to look at. Either one, I'd be interested to see. Maybe a little bit of both if I can be greedy about it, but either way, this teaser itself is really, really fun. But I don't necessarily have too much more to say about it, so feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment in your thoughts, and very special thanks to all my channel members, including Amorphosilica, Dweller, Pokelove101, and Unusual Echo at the normal tier, and Kono Nano at the cool person tier. Really appreciate your support, as always, and hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye!